Hey, what's up? My name is Dion DeLeon, and I am the creator of Fitness Professionals, and I am the founder of the Stronger for Life Protocol, a program designed to help women over the age of 35 struggling with mobility to moving and feeling athletic again. And here's a little bit about me. I'm a personal trainer. I've been personal training for about 3 years now, and I specialize in strength training and corrective exercise. Now, you may be wondering what corrective exercise is. Well, it's physical therapy without the college degree. It is physical therapy for personal trainers. So we go through very similar exercises, if not the exact same exercises, and we use it to apply to mobility. And as a personal trainer, I have been using these corrective exercises to help my clients go from stiff, injured, low mobility to be able to achieve the things that they've never thought they could have before. And one thing that I always tell them at the very beginning of training with them is we all have physical issues that we need to work with, whether it's your shoulders, your low back, your hips, any of those things, any of the like, that if we don't set that foundation up through corrective exercise, that we're not going to be able to achieve your goals at the very end of this training or at the very end of whatever your goal may be. So by applying this foundation of strength and knowledge into the gym first, then we can apply these things later to the bigger, more complicated movements later on in your fitness journey. And I've seen some incredible results from these corrective exercises. And what people would say, what my clients would say in the beginning, that would seem pointless or easy, or I don't understand why we're doing this, would eventually turn into them telling me, hey, we need to do these things like every single day, because I can tell the difference from when I do this exercise or this corrective exercise, and then I want to go into my deadlifts, my squats, my bench press. That if I don't do these, I'm not properly warmed up and not able to do the movements that I want to do and feel as good as I've ever felt before. And you know what it was? It was the corrective exercise. That is what they were missing. That was the key factor that was missing from their programmings that bridged them from not knowing what they're doing to getting the results that they have always been looking for. But anyways, I digress. So back to more about me. 2 years ago, I tore my left pec doing bench press, and I'm going to put some pictures here to show you a couple days after and literally the day of when I tore my pec. And when I tore my pec, I was very fortunate that it wasn't a harsh tear. It was still a tear, as you saw in the bruising, but there are some other factors that need to be taken into consideration. First, did not eat enough food that day to be able to work out, didn't have enough fuel for my workout. Number two, didn't get enough sleep. At that point, I was training 5 a.m. to 8 p.m. every single night at the gym, so I was just so sleep deprived. And number three, I didn't warm up. That's unacceptable. But I just wanted to get the workout done. It was one of those days I was tired. I didn't want to work out, but I know I needed to. And lo and behold, that's what happens when you don't apply the basics, as I was just talking about earlier. So after I tore my pec, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? This is wake up call, nightmare, worst nightmares ever happened. Tore my pec. I can't lift. I can't do nothing. I don't know what to do. So I went to go see an orthopedic doctor and get it checked out. And basically, they just handed me a packet and said, do these few physical therapy exercises, you'll be fine. And in my mind, I knew, because I had been studying corrective exercise for years at this point. I was like, that's not how this works. And this is why so many other people have injuries that they have for life, because they're not addressed properly. And when these issues start getting in the way of working out, that's when people start to get scared, they get worried. And I don't blame them. It's a huge mental thing. You get this injury, you do the little bit of physical therapy you need to do, and then they throw you in the deep end and say, good luck, you're good to go now, when that's not the case at all. And that's when I had an epiphany. I realized that through what my clients have been telling me too, it didn't really click until I had the injury myself, and I realized that, oh, I can't be the only one that's having these thoughts, thinking these things. Obviously, it's my first time going through an actual injury in the gym, so now I fully realize what's actually going on. So this was exciting for me, because now I get to apply my corrective exercise knowledge to myself. So I went and wrote myself out a program. I took a few days off of working out, had a little bit of a freak out moment, obviously the day of, but took a few days off, wrote out a program for myself around my shoulder, my bicep, my pec, my lats, my back, and did this for both sides, obviously, to keep it even. But literally 3 days later, after the injury, I was in the gym with the lightest resistance bands you could, and I was just trying to work through that range of motion, because again, I was so fortunate that the tear wasn't so bad that I didn't have to have surgery on it. Very thankful for that. And then I kept that up for weeks, months at a time, and I was doing progressive overloading. So I was going from the lightest band we had to the heaviest band we had, and then I went from the bands to the machines back to barbells, and then from there, proper progressive overload training through my pulling motions, my pushing motions, chest, shoulders, biceps, tries, all the deals. And now I'm to the point now where I can move just as good as I did back then. And some of the key things I learned: I have to warm up and I have to apply these basics every single time I go into the gym, not just for my upper body, but for my lower body too, because I cannot have that happen to my knees, my hips, my low back. I need to make sure that I bulletproof everything around me, so then if something were to happen, I'm better off not getting injured, or maybe it's just a little tweak, but it's not a tear, it's not a slip disc, it's not a blown out knee, and that I'm bulletproofing my body for exercises.